Kang the Conqueror is finally on the cusp of his long-awaited big screen debut, with Quantumania giving us our first glimpse at his live-action arrival, and leaving us to wonder exactly what we can expect from this tyrannical warlord in the coming months. One of Kang's defining attributes is his inability to truly be killed, as a limitless array of variants from across the multiverse are consistently lying in wait to follow the failed invasion of any given previous iteration of Kang. This, however, means that most timelines have a version of Kang who was born in their home universe, and each Kang has a point of origin somewhere in the multiverse itself. In the Loki season finale, it was explained that Earth 616 does not have a variant of Kang native to their universe, and that this is what made this particular sequence of events so appealing to He Who Remains, a Kang variant himself. Is it possible, however, that there is in fact a variant of Kang already living in the MCU main timeline? Is there a version of Nathaniel Richards living in plain sight that we haven't found as of yet in the modern age of Earth 616? We believe there might be. Well, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's discuss the two distinct possibilities as to how Kang is already on Earth 616, potentially even watching the events of Phase 4 unfold in real time, and awaiting his eventual opportunity to strike. The origin of this first theory goes all the way back to Spider-Man Homecoming, which was not only released in 2017, but canonically takes place in the same year. Homecoming followed Peter Parker as he attempted to track down and stop Adrian Toomes from developing and distributing incredibly unstable weapons to the criminal underworld. And the ultimate climax saw Toomes attempting to raid the equipment located within Avengers Tower. Happy states that Tony sold the tower to an as of yet unknown buyer, and fans have been speculating as to who bought Stark Tower ever since, with the answer never being officially revealed. With the likes of Reed Richards, Wilson Fisk, and even Norman Osborn being named as potential buyers, there is a candidate that seems to make sense thanks to the recent Loki series. When Loki arrives at the Void at the end of time, we can see a conspicuous tower in the background branded as the headquarters of Quang Enterprises, owned and operated by seasoned businessman and gifted entrepreneur by the name of Mr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin, however, is a variant of Kang, and a variant who got trapped in the modern age and decided to capitalize on his resources and knowledge by building the Empire hidden in plain sight. This shows that in the very least one universe, Mr. Griffin did in fact take over the Avengers compound and rebranded it as his own enterprise. And it's possible that there is a version living in the MCU and operating the modern Quang Empire without anyone knowing his true identity as a Kang. If this is the case, then it's entirely possible that a variant of Kang has already invaded the modern age of the MCU and has assumed a role as a prominent New York businessman. Whether he is trapped in this reality or if he is selected as the home for this specific purpose and is a part of the mainline 616, although this is unlikely, this would allow him to stay up to date on all of the heroes of this universe before finally making his move. The second possibility has to do with the events of No Way Home, as the third entry in the Spider-Man franchise shows that while the mainline MCU is still Earth 616, it's not the sacred timeline any longer. Since the fall of the TVA, the MCU has most certainly branched out a deviant track that was not planned by He Who Remains. Theoretically, this could have happened as far back as 2012, but we know it would have happened by the events of No Way Home for sure. And we know this simply because this was the first known break in the multiverse that affected the MCU. There was no way for He Who Remains to script a break in the multiverse if the multiverse didn't exist, meaning the arrival of multiversal variants certainly splintered the timeline onto a brand new course. And with this comes something even more dangerous. This means that it could very well be heading towards a sequence of events where a Kang is born on Earth 616, and hence there is a version of Kang native to the MCU living in the 31st century. This could also explain the eventual arrival of Reed Richards, as well as why he's been absent for so long, as he is finally now allowed to exist in the universe since it's no longer a scripted sequence of events without a Kang. Since of course in the comics, Reed is an ancestor of Kang. While this second scenario doesn't necessarily mean that there is a version of Kang in the modern age hiding out, it does mean that this Kang would have more intimate knowledge in the history of his own timeline, rather than needing to guess what he might encounter if he hops into another reality. The variant universes of the multiverse vary widely in terms of defense forces, technological capabilities, and superheroic presences, and we know this due to the various realities that we've seen so far. We know that on Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Earths, they are largely alone in terms of superheroic individuals, while Earth 838 has an incredibly complicated superhero roster. Not only do they have the Fantastic Four lying in wait, but the Avengers, the Inhumans, and the X-Men as well, which can be made up of any number of different rosters of individual heroes, making 838 very well defended. If Kang does not have a way to scout out which universe he is about to invade, there is no telling what he might face. But if he knows the intimate history of his own timeline and elects to travel into the past of his home universe, then he can accurately predict his position and prepare accordingly. Now, let's bridge these two theories and discuss the possibility that Mr. Griffin is from Earth 616. But it's important to remember that this doesn't necessarily have to be the case either, and he could simply be a Kang variant that purchased Avengers Tower and is now hiding in the mainline universe. Mr. Griffin, if he exists, can be from anywhere in the multiverse, and the version of Kang born on Earth 616 can currently be anywhere in the multiverse or the timeline, but it's fun to consider that they might be one and the same. If Mr. Griffin was born on Earth 616, then it makes sense that he would choose his own universe as his first conquest, and if he elects to buy Stark Tower, then he might be able to capitalize on Tony Stark's reputation in order to cement himself as a New York businessman. He could scout the modern age of heroes, watch the conflict with Thanos from afar, knowing full well that even if he snapped, he will return after 5 years when the Avengers undo this calamity. He can wait for the death of Tony Stark and retirement of Captain America, ultimately waiting for the perfect moment to enact his conquest, while Earth 616 is at its weakest. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this theory? And do you think there's a possibility that there could actually be a Kang variant on the main timeline as of right now? Which Kang variant do you think will invade Earth 616 first? And do you think it was a Kang variant and Mr. Griffin that purchased Avengers Tower as was hinted at in the Loki series? Do you think that Kang bought Stark Tower? And if so, do you think it's the variant from the future of Earth 616, or is it another version from elsewhere in the multiverse? As always, my friends, I would love to hear your thoughts on this theory in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and I will hopefully see you in tomorrow's video.